Watch out now, Shawnee Lou. This one's for you. All right, family. So, we're doing a Southern Sweet series. So, join me today while we make our cinnamon rolls. We're going to start off by adding 4 cups of flour to our sifter. We're going to sift that out, make sure that it's nice and fluffy. And then we're going to add that into our mixing bowl and also add in a half of a cup of sugar and 3/4 teaspoon of salt, and we're going to add that and mix that in well. Then we're going to take our unsalted room temperature butter and add 1/3 of a cup of that butter, and we're going to fold that in well as well. Then we're going to take 1 cup of lukewarm milk and add in 1 teaspoon of sugar and 2 1/4 teaspoon of yeast. Begin to let that burp and bubble, and after a minute or so, you're going to turn on your mixer and begin to add that milk in, and then you're going to take 2 eggs and 1 egg yolk. Yes, 2 eggs and 1 egg yolk, and mix that into the mix as well, and just let it mix on low until it takes a ball form. Then lightly flour, serve as a begin to work that dough out, and really just spend about 30 seconds to a minute or so just to smooth it out, and then add it to a grease bowl and wrap it in plastic wrap so that it can lock in that humidity, and let it rise for an hour and a half. Then you're going to take 1 cup of brown sugar and 2 1/4 tablespoon of ground cinnamon, and mix that in, set it aside, flour your surface, and take that risen dough out, and you're just going to roll it out to begin to form your cinnamon roll. And then I like to work into a nice long rectangle formation, so I just really spend some time and roll it out, and I want to aim for about 1/4 of an inch. And then you take your unsalted butter, and then you just really roll that unsalted butter out onto that cinnamon roll. Take your cinnamon roll dust and just evenly distribute it across the cinnamon roll. And then I begin at one end and I really just begin to roll it. And you see, I work from the ends and work my way down and around. All right. So don't rush this process. It's so important that it's nice and tight because it really affects the cinnamon rolls at the end. And then I just begin to score the cinnamon roll so that I can make sure I'm cutting as evenly as possible. And then I take my twine and I slide the twine underneath the cinnamon rolls and cut from above, as you can see there, just to help get the most uniform cut as possible. I mean, just look at it. They're beautiful. And then I just lay them in my beautiful Temptations baking dish that's greased and set aside there. And you just want to really work those cinnamon rolls and cut them out nice and even. And then once they're cut out, you're going to cover them in saran wrap and let them sit for another 30 to 40 minutes to rise. And then you're going to put them in the oven on 375 for 20 to 30 minutes. But while that's in the oven, you're going to take 4 ounces of cream cheese and about a cup of powdered sugar. I let my heart leave me, all right. And we're going to mix that down. And then we're going to add 1 to 3 tablespoons of milk to that icing. And it's really just based off of your preference of how thin or thick you like it. But I added about 2 tablespoons, so that's kind of runny. And then I also add some vanilla extract for that flavor, all right? And then after my cinnamon rolls are ready, I take them out of the oven and I let them sit for another 15 minutes. Just look at them. And after they've sat and cooled, I take that icing and I just begin to ice those cinnamon rolls. I mean, just look at them. They're delicious, but it ain't over for real until I taste it. So we got to give it a taste. I mean, just look. Oh my goodness. And when I tell you, your family's going to love them, your kids going to love them. They're simple and delicious, and I know it'll be a favorite. So be blessed, and thank y'all.